how much money do we have to put into YMAX, the weekly paying YieldMax ETF, in order to make $100 every single week? We're going to find out that and more by the end of this video. So I wanted to bring this video to light because it's really cool seeing what these weekly dividends are doing. They are changing people's lives for sure. Whether you're retired or not retired, whether you have drip on or drip off, these funds are crazy, and there's only more coming out every single week, it seems. So what are we going to do with this $100? I don't know. That's the beauty of it. You can do whatever you want to with your $100. You can buy groceries. You can put it on your car payment, on your home payment, on your rent. You can take your girlfriend, boyfriend out to a nice dinner, whatever you want. That's the thing. It's your money, and you get to use it however you want to. So with all that said, we're going to find out exactly how much we need for $100. I appreciate you guys for watching. This is the place if you're interested in dividend ETFs, investing, making money in the stock market. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss any further update videos. Thank you so much for watching. Let's roll the intro. Some of you might be familiar with YMAX. You probably are if you're a fan of the channel. Others might not be. We're not going to go too far into the info, but I want to cover a couple of key points here. Distribution rate of 46%, which is insane. That's just based off the last distribution, I'm guessing. And we did see the price fall ever so slightly. So I wanted to point that out. Also, investing in the fund involves a high degree of risk. If you are risk averse, this might not be the fund for you. I'm saying that right now. This is not financial advice. They say it themselves. It is a higher risk fund. We can see the distribution per share history. It's been really solid. Yeah, it bounced around a little bit. We've had highs in the 30s and then lows just about 11, 12 cents, 13, 14 cents. So a little bit all over the place. This is different than the round till ETFs. Those are 0 DTE, 0 days till expiration covered call options. This is not. They just own a huge clump of the YieldMax funds in this fund. So it's very different. If you're not familiar with that, I recommend listening to someone that knows more about it than I do. I'm not an expert on the option side of things, but I'm happy with the returns that we've been seeing in our weekly dividend ETF account. Yes, you heard that right. I buy every single weekly dividend ETF and track their progress every single week. If you're interested, I'll link that video at the end of this one. It is pretty crazy how well these things have been doing. Few key things to point out: management fee and the acquired fund fees and expenses, 1.3%. It's a bit higher for YMAG and YMAX. It's a lot more work because this is a giant group of the funds they already have. So it's just more expensive to own, but it gives you more diversity with YMAX especially. And then YMAG, kind of the sister fund, is just the Magnificent Seven ETFs that they have. So writing the options on Microsoft and Nvidia and Amazon and all the others. I always forget one, so I'm not even going to try. But I've been happy with what we've been seeing with YMAX, and I think knowing how much we have to have for $100 every week is going to be a game changer. But first, to just show all the people that hate this fund and hate YieldMax, we're going to look at the drip calculator for this fund. I've been getting a lot of negative comments, surprisingly, about YMAX. I know a lot of you guys love it. Let me know in the comments if you do like this one, and if it's not your favorite YieldMax or weekly paying ETF, let me know what is, and maybe I'll do a video on it later on. But let's check out the drip calculator for YMAX. So why are people hating on this fund? Well, it pays weekly, and they say that the NAV erosion is crazy, meaning the price is continuing to drop. But that's just not the case. And this kind of proves it. So it started trading January 17 of 2024. We've seen a full year. We have a full year of dividends from a YieldMax company. I'm not sure if it paid out dividends that entire time. This is just going off of the drip calculator. Don't call me out on that. But we can see that starting wise, your starting shares would be 502. With drip, they'd be all the way up to 774, which is absolutely insane. And this is with 10K invested. So total return is 29%, and your average annual total return is 28% with drip on. With drip off, the average, or your total return, goes down to 24.8%, and the average annual total return is 23.77%. Still solid. Still very solid. And you guys know I talk about drip all the time on the channel. I'm a huge fan of dripping your dividends. Whether you're buying the stock that you get the dividends from, or whether you're reallocating that into other stocks, whatever you're doing to grow your portfolio, that's what I'm a fan of. If you're retired and you're watching this and you want to use this money to live off of, no shame to you. Congratulations on retirement. I'm just saying, if you're not needing the money, don't go out of your way to spend this money. Make it work for you. In the long run, I think you'll be better off for it. But again, not financial advice. So Really impressed with YMAX. It has been, I know it's been doing well because, like I said, I own it. I own it in my Roth as well as that weekly account. So I've been tracking it pretty nicely. But in 1 year, your $10,000 would become $12,934 with drip on. And with drip off, you'd still get a nice $2,478 return. No real complaints here. We've seen it bounce around a little bit recently, but the crazy thing is when we're looking at YMAX versus just the price chart, it looks like it's been dropping like crazy, but it's still paying out such good dividends. It's still an overall positive return. And we can't say that about all the weekly payers, so be careful which ones you choose. Some are winners, some are losers. I'm just going to say it. You guys know the ones that are losers, Defiance ETFs. If you're not familiar with those, that's okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to throw up two different calculations, kind of a best case and a worst case scenario to see how YMAX has been doing and to try and kind of predict what it will do. We're never going to truly know, but I want to see exactly how much we need, how many shares, how much money invested to make that $100 every single week with both the best and worst case scenario. Starting off strong. So let's say we have 100 shares of YMAX. That's already getting us almost $500 a year, which again, it's not as much as we need. We need at least 10x that, but still an important thing to point out. YMAX's return has been crazy. This is the low ball end of 28% based off of the drip calculator. Now, I know you guys are saying I did not put anything in for price decrease or increase, both in yield and price appreciation of the stock. No annual contributions, no tax rate, and drip is off because we're pulling this money out is the experiment, or the idea behind the experiment. So what's cool with this and what I really like about YMAX is that a 28% is absolutely insane. And now, so this is the lower end one. You'd expect that to be the best case scenario. It is not. This is the scenario that's probably most realistic based off the last year of YMAX's trading. Now, the market was pretty good the last year, really good the last year, actually. So this is probably an outlier, but it's all the information we have to go off of. Seeking Alpha puts their dividend yield at 48%. So that'll be the best case scenario calculation, which is absolutely crazy in my mind. But all in all, YMAX, it's been doing great. Will it continue? We don't know, but we're going to have to ramp this up quite a bit. So at 500 shares, that puts you at $8,300 invested. You're getting $2,324 every single year in payments. Now, remember, we need $5,200 in dividend payments over the first year to get $100 every week. There's a little over 52 weeks in a year. But again, we're not even close. So we're going to go all the way to 1,000. Before I do this, if you guys are interested in stocks that pay a lower dividend like Realty Income, Main Street Capital, and some better growth stocks like Tesla, MSTR, Nvidia, I have my new channel that I'll link down below in the description where I'm talking about those. I'm keeping this one focused on these ETFs because they've been doing so well. Nothing's changing on this channel, but I started a second channel to go back more to my roots, talk about normal stocks that don't pay dividends and ones that do pay lower end dividends, but focusing in. With 1,000 shares, we're at $16,600 invested. You get $4,650 every single year, which again is not quite what we need. So we're going to let's do 1,100 and see if that gets us there. We're just a little short. Let's do 1,150. 1,150 shares gets you, yes, we have made it to our $100 every single week calculation. I know you can do this backwards or inverse and get it in the first try, but I like working our way up to see how crazy it is, where some of you might not have $20,000 to put into YMAX and might want to make $20 a week or $50 a week. And so that's the point of kind of walking us into that through the calculation. But still, this is absolutely crazy that $19,000 will get you $5,000, meaning you get that $100 every single week. Again, in our worst scenario. So now we're going to do it best case scenario, which is 48% return based off of just the dividend yield if it trades sideways. I think these numbers are going to be pretty insane. So starting off strong with just $100 shares, you're at $1,660 and you're getting $800 every single year with that 48% yield. This one I feel is going to go a lot faster than the last, and we're already at $2,000. With just $4,150, you're getting $2,000 every single year, which is just, again, it's just crazy. 500 shares puts us at $8,300, and we're already at $4,000 every single year. I can't even believe this. And with that reinvested, you actually get all the way up to $5,000 in dividend income, which is just wild. Okay, so I don't want to go too high. I don't want to overshoot by too much. I definitely did. 650. 750 was too much. 650 is right in the sweet spot. Absolutely insane. We'll do 675. 675 should get us there. Yes, man, and extra. So the difference with only $11,200 compared to $19,090, this $11,000 gets you that $100 every single week. Best case scenario with what we've seen just from the yield of YMAX. Now, the factors of this are it has to trade sideways and the yield has to stay consistent, which they really don't do. It's not a negative. It's not like a normal dividend stock because, people come in and say, oh, the dividends are all over the place. How could you ever use that? That's the problem. Some months you might get $50. Some months you might get $200. So it's going to be all over the place. I should say weeks. I'm so used to monthly dividend stocks. Some weeks. So if you can live with that, that's perfect. When it comes to retirement, it might be harder to do. But if you have monthly bills, then you'd still be fine. You're still going to average it out over the end of the month. So YMAX, phenomenal ETF. I've been really happy with the return. If you're interested in YMAX at all, you'll like these videos I'm putting up on the screen where it's going to show all of our recap for our weekly dividend ETF account, as well as a couple others from MSTY. For those that are interested, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.